Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. Oh, yes, Harry and Meghan have had their 7-year anniversary, and you're not going to believe what she did. There's a lot, as usual, so let's just jump in and get busy. Let's go. We're going to start off with Queen Camilla because the palace finally released a picture of her new puppy. It is absolutely adorable. You guys know how I feel. Adopt, don't shop. This particular dog is a Jack Russell Terrier cross and is a rescue dog and is a little bit of everything, she said. And they rescued this dog from the Battersea Dog and Cats Home. Love it. Let's move on to Prince William, who stepped out by himself on Saturday afternoon. He was at Wembley Stadium to watch Manchester City and Crystal Palace play at the Emirates FA Cup final. Don't forget that William is the patron of the Football Association and an avid football fan. So he walked out and he greeted the players before the game. Now, a lot of fans have been dubbing him as cool, the cool royal, saying he looked really good when he stepped out onto the pitch, which I happen to agree with. He looks really good. He's not just a regular prince, he's a cool prince, the future king. Love it. I think we all know by now that William is a very keen football fan. He's well known for being a massive Aston Villa supporter. He's often spotted up in the stands with George to watch because George is also a massive Aston Villa supporter. It's believed that he has been supporting that team since childhood with George, going in his footsteps. Now, we know that this match took place a few weeks after William and George were very animated up in the stands at the Aston Villa's Championship League quarterfinal against Paris, and that took place in Birmingham. We saw the pictures. It was just amazing. Anyway, William was up in the stands and he presented the trophy to the game's victor, which was Crystal Palace, who earned their first major trophy in the team's history. And the 2025 Emirates FA Cup final, by the way, is the oldest national soccer match in the world and is considered to be one of the sport's most prestigious competitions. Pretty cool. William has been president of the Football Association since 2006, before it was announced that he was stepping up into the patron role, and he overtook that post from his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. All right, next up, talking about William and Catherine, they're set to visit Glasgow for the naming ceremony of HMS Glasgow at the BAE Systems shipyard. They're going to attend the event where Catherine, who serves as the ship's sponsor, will officially name the state-of-the-art anti-submarine frigate designed to protect the UK's nuclear deterrent and aircraft carriers. Fabulous. Let's move on. Let's move on to Duchess Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. She was riding on a carriage as she attended day 4 of the Royal Windsor Horse Show at Windsor Castle. She also rode in the Castle Arena next to Boyd XL, who, by the way, is the world #1 and winner of the International Carriage Driving at the Horse Show. You guys already know how much I like Sophie. I do believe I've seen that hat on her daughter before. As I've said before, I love the fact that she and her daughter are able to share clothes that they apparently are the exact same size. I just love that. Now, one other thing, on May 18th, Sophie made the winner's presentation to the Belgian Olympic team bronze medalist, Gregory Wallet, I believe is how you say his name. Looking good, Sophie. And as usual, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what she was wearing. Let's keep going. Let's move on to Zara and Mike Tindall. We know they had that golf championship. Well, they put out a really nice note thanking all the supporters and competitors and everybody because they're raising money for Cure Parkinson's and the Hambo Foundation. And a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what Zara was wearing. Let's move on. All right, this news is actually very exciting. What's being said is that with the King's tour of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh in doubt due to the rising tensions and military actions going on, they have now set their sights on Antigua and Barbuda, I believe is how it's said. It's being said Charles really wants to continue championing the Commonwealth's importance because that was his mother's legacy and he wants to show his commitment to it, which I think is fabulous. All right, let's move on. All right, Prince Edward was not with Sophie because Prince Edward was in Rome. He was representing King Charles at the Pope's inauguration mass in Vatican City. And of course, he was there alongside other big royal names, but I loved his fedora. He was actually at one point wearing this absolutely fabulous hat. Other people spotted were the Grand Duke Henry and Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg, Princess Charlene and Prince Albert of Monaco, and also King Philippe and Queen Letizia of Spain. And I want you to notice that all the women there are wearing white. We're going to be discussing that in just a minute. Now, Edward being there is apparently a long-standing royal tradition of British representatives at papal inaugurations. In 2013, Prince Richard, the Duke of Gloucester, represented Queen Elizabeth II at Pope Francis's inauguration. And in 2005, the late Prince Philip represented the late Queen at Pope Benedict XVI ceremony. Also seen showing up and being escorted to wherever he was going to go was President Zelensky. I believe this is the first time I've ever seen him out of his, military garb. At least it looks to me like he's not wearing his military garb. Now, other people seen walking in were Crown Princess Victoria and the hereditary Prince and Princess of Liechtenstein. Now, after the Mass, the Pope met with, the dignitaries, shook their hands, etc., etc. Now, of course, Edward is there by himself. Again, Sophie wasn't there. But I noticed a pattern of something going on whenever the wives were there, and I want you to watch. Here is Prince Albert of Monaco and his wife Charlene meeting the Pope. And after the Pope greets Charlene, his entire attention is on Prince Albert, and he doesn't even look at Charlene. Then this exact same thing happened again with the King of Spain and his wife. She takes his hand, he acknowledges her, and then he goes right back to talking to the king, and the wife just seems to be standing there. And then it happened again with the Grand Ducal couple. I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a real pattern of behavior. He acknowledges the wife, but all of his attention is going to the man. I hope this isn't, a foreshadowing of what we're going to see with this Pope. Look what happened when he met Vice President J.D. Vance. Like, he didn't even look at his wife. It's like the weirdest thing. Now, I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Taylor on Twitter for pointing out that there is a papal-approved privilege that allows certain Catholic queens and princesses to wear white, not black, in the presence of the Pope. Because a lot of people were like, oh my God, but there's a reason behind it. All right, let's move on to Meghan Markle and the 7-year anniversary. It is the 7-year anniversary of Harry and Meghan. So, of course, Meghan put something up on Instagram. And in order to try to catch everybody's attention, she puts up pictures that have never been seen before. Including this one that's supposed to be her pregnant, which I still think she's wearing something fake because it's in the back and it's, a little blurry. They're showing pictures of the kids. This is supposed to let you know that everything is going well in their world instead of the actual mess that their marriage is. That's right, a almost 50-something-year-old woman using memory boards. Let's move on. All right, moving on. It's being said that William and Catherine never speak Harry's name, and they've asked people on the staff to never mention Meghan's name because they're hoping they can eventually forgive him because he's family, but they don't ever want to see Meghan again. And in the meantime, the children really don't have any memories of them, and they don't want the kids to know what's going on. I agree. Now, another thing that Meghan did recently on Instagram was she put up another video of her cutting flowers. I swear this woman has nothing else to do. But she put a really raunchy song in the background as the lyrics, "Doing It Well," are playing in the background. The song is about a woman describing the way she wants to have relations, and their lyrics are things like, "I'm feeling kind of horny," and "Conventional methods of making love bore me," "Pull my hair," "Spank me," doing it. They even have people moaning on the song. I'm telling you, this woman has totally lost it ever since Catherine had a rose named after her. Meghan is losing it. I mean, she's running around in the garden in couture with bare, nasty, dirty feet. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with her. She's so jealous. She tries so hard to make everybody think that her life is gorgeous. I mean, she's putting up stuff like this. Ew. All right, let's move on to our other stories. Now, we know that Meghan is a bully, and before the wedding, after the wedding, and several stories have come out. One of the things that happened was before the wedding, Meghan berated one of her wedding caterers so badly that Queen Elizabeth had to intervene. So Meghan goes to Windsor Castle for a menu tasting and had an exchange with a member of the staff. So she was there to taste some dishes, and there wasn't supposed to be any egg. And she goes, "I can taste the egg." And she got very upset. And she said this dish was supposed to be vegan and macrobiotic. Apparently, it got back to the Queen, who decided to address the issue, because they said suddenly the Queen walked in and she said, and I'm quoting Meghan, "In this family, we don't speak to people like that." Now, for those of you who don't know, the Queen was very careful about how you spoke to staff. We are also aware that this was not the only time that Meghan's treatment of staff came to the attention of the Queen. Come to find out, while Harry and Meghan were living at Frogmore Cottage, another complaint was made. The Duchess Meghan was so dismissive towards an undergardener that it prompted a senior staff member to speak directly to the Queen. But the stories about Meghan being a bully kept on coming in since Meghan has left the royal family. So what does that tell you? People don't change their spots. So she's rude to an undergardener, so the head gardener went to complain to the Queen, who told her off because she didn't like people being rude to staff. Now, the truth is, Meghan's probably not very good with staff or people that she's employing. You should always be very polite to people who work for you, because otherwise they're going to be very put out and they're going to leave. So even while she was working, don't forget about the email from Jason Kanoff that he witnessed people being chewed up in person and over the phone and being made to feel small. And he wrote an email saying that she always seemed to have somebody in her sight. But the late Queen had a zero tolerance policy when it came to ill treatment of her staff. I mean, they're saying that Meghan used to bark out orders and send out 5 a.m. emails. And look what's happened since she's left the royal family. Look at her behavior. Nothing's changed. Since Meghan came on the scene, Harry and Meghan have lost 18 staff members minimum, and at least 9 of those are since they moved to California. And that does not include domestic staff, nannies, maids, etc., etc. These are just the people we know about. So why didn't Catherine have problems? Well, they're saying Catherine went in as a team player. Meghan went in as a victim. She didn't want to get along with people. She wanted to be rejected. She wanted to go back to California. All of this was being planned out and talked about even before the wedding. And this we know for a fact. That's already been proven. Oof. All right. You know, every time I see these pictures of the wedding, I wish I could reach back in time and say, "Hey, Harry," and show him a crystal ball of what was coming in his future. Because I guarantee you, if he had seen what was coming, I don't think he would have gone through with the wedding. I'm sorry, but I don't. Seriously, I think if Harry knew now, or if he knew then what he knew now, what all was going to happen, he would be completely estranged from his family. His home country would hate him. I don't think he would have gone through with it. And look where he is now. He's now Meghan Markle's occasional assistant and junior bodyguard. He's lost everything, including his UK security. He has nothing. She's the one with the As Ever deal. She's the one doing the podcast. She's the one doing everything. He's just a side note at this point. Now, I also want to point out really quickly that Meghan is a hypocrite, as is Harry, because remember, they're doing this whole thing about keeping the internet safe for children, and yet Meghan has invited Chrissy Teigen on. I've already shown you her tweets. It's disgusting. She basically told a teenager to go have a dirt nap. You get what I'm saying? And then she didn't even appropriately apologize for the whole thing. So, yeah, she's a hypocrite. So's Harry. That's why nobody's listening to anything that they have to say. Just like they're talking about the environment while they take jets everywhere like Ubers. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, Gettr, Rumble, email, my second channel, my Amazon wishlist, and my father's book, which is still up for sale, as well as a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.